Welcome to SCORE Nashville's Am I Ready to Start a Business session. Today, we're going to look at the psychological and entrepreneurial traits that lead to successful business startups, how to vet your idea, some thoughts about the resources you will need to launch and grow, and a few other business considerations. This presentation should provide you with a basic understanding of what you need to succeed in your new venture. But obviously, it's not enough to make a final decision on whether or not you should proceed. That will require more research and thought. Please, take the time to pause as needed to consider how the information presented applies to your business, and take notes as desired. With over 10,000 volunteers all over the country, SCORE stands ready to serve small businesses wherever they're located. We are a resource partner of the Small Business Administration, from which we receive some funding and other support. We have over 70 volunteers in the Nashville area who provide mentoring, a variety of workshops and events, and even a television show for local businesses. Our website, shown at the bottom of each slide, has additional resources to help in the planning and execution of your business venture. Our primary function is mentoring small business owners by providing thoughtful, experience-based guidance. If you haven't already, when you finish this session, sign up for a mentor at www.nashville.score.org. Your mentor will most likely be a generalist, familiar with all aspects of business who can bring in subject matter experts to provide more specialized help as necessary. There's no charge for one-on-one mentoring. Your mentor might play the role of guide, coach, devil's advocate, and will hold you accountable for meeting your mutually agreed-upon deadlines, but will not do your work. It is your business. You need to do the research, planning, and execution to be successful. We will review your work and offer comments and suggestions. The workshops at the top of this slide are done on a regular basis every 30 to 90 days, based on demand. The other workshops and events are just a sampling of what we offer throughout the year. Watch your emails and check our website to see what's coming up soon. All are live and interactive, some via Zoom and others in person. Some are free and others have minimal registration fees. Before we begin, note that 20% of new businesses don't make it through their first year, and 70% are no longer around after a decade. The more innovative the new business, the more likely it is to fail. But innovative businesses might also have the greatest upside. Think of apps that go nowhere and others that are wildly successful. Well-researched, planned, and capitalized businesses are most likely to succeed. We want you to be able to survive and thrive once you launch your new venture. Your choice to attend this presentation, educate yourself, and work with a SCORE mentor will greatly increase your odds of success. Today, we will talk about the psychology of business ownership, vetting your idea, financial and other resources you need to be successful, and we'll also take a look at some other things to consider when starting a business. We've asked our clients why they're thinking about starting a business. Here's what they say is motivating them, and some quick thoughts about each reason they've provided. You need a job. If you're looking for a big salary and benefits, it generally takes more time to achieve these goals when starting a business than when starting a job. Many believe owning a business means they are the boss, but you always answer to your customers, investors, and employees. As the owner, you will be the first to work, last to leave, and last to get paid. On the other hand, you make the final decisions that will determine success or failure. Family businesses can succeed and provide a source of great pride and joy. But how many family members can the business support? What about exit strategies? Can you fire a non-performing family member? Entrepreneurial spirit is great if you have the proper traits and skill set to succeed. We'll discuss these traits on the next slide. Too many entrepreneurs end up failing when they find out they can come up with great ideas, but are not so good at follow-through. Will the business bring a greater return than investing in the stock market, real estate, or other alternatives? It all depends on how successful your business becomes and the risk is often greater. Your idea might sound great to you and your mother, but do your potential customers agree with that assessment? We will look at vetting your idea later in the session, but if you're providing a value greater than the cost, you might just have something. Let's look at some of the traits that successful entrepreneurs consider important to possess. How would you honestly rate yourself on each trait? 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest, but maybe even too high. You need a solid work ethic, but will you lose your family or social life if it's too strong? Experience or education in the field has a strong correlation to success. Consider getting a job in the field and taking appropriate courses or workshops before starting your business. Just because you make a great lasagna, that doesn't mean you know how to run a profitable restaurant. You need to be organized, but not to the extent you spend so much time organizing you don't have time to do your work. Keep a calendar and block out time for the unexpected crisis, as well as the things you hate doing, so you don't avoid necessary tasks. For example, some clients will set aside 1 hour per day for sales calls. Have you heard the term analysis paralysis? You will almost never have all the facts. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing." Don't make the same mistake twice. Ask others in the industry about mistakes they have made and learn from them as well. Be persistent, but not stubborn. Sometimes a theoretically great marketing campaign just isn't working. Give it time to succeed, but be willing to drop it and try something different. The proper support system can relieve some of the stress of owning a business and improve success rates. A client once told us his wife thought his idea was nuts. We said, "You better be successful quickly or you'll likely end up with a failed business, a failed marriage, or both." If there were no risk in starting your business, everyone would be doing it. You need to determine the level of risk you are willing to take based on the expected rewards. We used to add the scores, and if you hit a certain number, it meant your chance of success was high. But it's better to evaluate each score and see what you can do to improve your lower scores. Read a book, take a class, find YouTube videos to improve yourself, or hire an employee or partner with someone who is strong in your weakest areas. Even with a strong motivation to start your business and possessing all the traits needed to be successful, if your idea is not welcomed in the marketplace, you cannot be successful. Carefully vet your idea before proceeding. Will your idea relieve a pain, create a gain, or improve your customers' jobs or lives? In other words, are you providing a solution to a perceived customer problem? How does your product or service provide a value to your customer greater than its cost? Can you define your ideal customer by age, income, gender, race, education level, location, religion, and what they enjoy doing at work and at play? Not all characteristics need to be considered for every business, but just a hint, your ideal customer is not everybody. Stop and make sure the customers you are targeting find value in the product or service you're providing at the price point you establish. Pivot in terms of your offerings or targeted customers until you find a match. So, let's assume you have an idea that the marketplace would find attractive. What advantage does your idea provide that the competition does not? There needs to be a reason that customers will alter their current behavior. And before you say you have no competition, your customers have been surviving by doing or buying nothing, so that alone is competition. And depending on the difficulty in starting a similar business or adding your idea to an established business, if your idea proves successful, you can bet that competitors will soon emerge. What activities will you need to perform, and what resources and partners will you need to design, produce, market, and deliver your products and services? Understanding these will help you determine the cost of the value you intend to provide. A business model can help organize your thoughts and actions. Begin by determining your potential customers and their pains that need relief or the gains they desire. Include demographic, geographic, and psychographic characteristics. Then, explain the bundle of products and services that you provide and the value your customers will find in these offerings. This is your value proposition, and you will likely need one for each customer segment. What channels will you use to reach your potential customers so that they hear about your offerings, and how will you deliver the value to the customer? You need to develop great relationships with your customers by providing extraordinary service and appropriate attention. You want loyal, repeat customers and want them to tell others about their amazing experience. Key activities include everything you need to do to design, produce, market, and deliver your value proposition. Your key resources are the cash and/or credit, equipment, space, and people you need to perform the activities. And your key partners can help with the activities you cannot or choose not to do on your own with your available resources. Examples include a CPA to do your taxes, a cloud-based server to host your website, and suppliers or vendors. Finally, we consider the costs of all activities, resources, and partnerships, and the revenue streams you can generate from your value propositions. It goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. It's pretty important that your revenue streams are at least equal to, and hopefully greater than, your costs. This was a quick summary of the 9 building blocks needed to create a business model. Check out our 3-hour workshop on business modeling to go into greater depth on this subject. Pay attention to the feedback you receive and adjust your business model accordingly. Understand what your financial reports are telling you. How can you become more profitable? Listen to your customers and employees and be open to new ideas. Watch what your competitors do, especially when they make changes. Do you think Blockbuster could still be a player if they had watched Netflix offer mailed DVDs and streaming services and adjusted their offerings? Okay, you have the proper motivation, necessary entrepreneurial traits, an idea the market is excited about, a business model that looks like you can turn a profit. But do you actually have the necessary resources to get your business started and support you and your family until you move beyond a break-even point? Let's look at some of the resources you might need. Do you have the necessary personal capital to invest in the business to take it from pre-launch through and beyond a break-even point? If so, that's great. You need a very good personal credit rating and score if you hope to borrow money for your new business. You will be responsible for personally guaranteeing any loans your startup obtains. Do you have other assets such as home equity, other real estate, investment or retirement accounts that can be used as collateral on loans you sign? Current employee income can be considered if you or your spouse plan to keep your day jobs while you start your business. If you're using your spouse's income, they will need to co-sign any loans. Can the business be bootstrapped or started on a small budget using profits to grow organically? While we'd all like to make a big bang, sometimes starting as a seedling and growing steadily is a better route. Many successful bricks-and-mortar restaurants began as food trucks or even pop-up experiences, developing a following and reputation before investing in permanent space. And it's not unusual for tech support, home maintenance, tutoring services, and many other side hustles to turn into successful businesses. If you need outside capital, friends and family is far and away the #1 source of outside startup capital for small businesses. Loans from commercial banks and alternative lenders are sometimes available for startups with solid business plans, personal investment in the business, and outstanding personal credit. These, though, are more readily available after proving your concept through a few years of positive financial history and growth. Crowdfunding is possible for some types of startups. For example, a musical artist might find funding for a professional recording session. Investors such as angels and venture capital usually do not invest in pre-revenue new businesses unless there is a compelling reason or maybe a relationship with the entrepreneur. They will also want a piece of the business and a well-defined exit strategy. Grants are rarely available for for-profit startups. Watch out for scams in ads or emails suggesting someone will provide you with a list of grant opportunities for a small one-time fee. Not-for-profits can get grants if they have a mission closely aligned with the organization offering the grants, but even those can be difficult for newly formed entities. So, in summary, self-financing or loans or investments from friends and family are the surest way to get off the ground. Other resources might be available but are not easy for startups, with rare exceptions. One of the most common reasons that businesses fail is running out of money, so make sure you have access to enough. These are other resources you might need beyond financial capital. Time. Do you have enough time to spend on the new venture? It depends on what you're doing, but a successful small business could require 60 to 80 hours per week of your time. Physical facilities. Are you operating from home or elsewhere? If home, do you have a quiet space to concentrate on your business and where you can talk to customers without interruption? Equipment and inventory are based on the type of business you are running. Nowadays, virtually all businesses require a computer and software, but manufacturers and retailers require much more. People, whether employees, independent contractors, or partners, make sure you have access to the human resources you need. Recruiting and retaining great employees is one of the most important and challenging aspects in business, and local and national economic and unemployment rates beyond your control can make this even more difficult. Access to mentors. Obviously, SCORE is available, but you might want others as well. Often it's someone in your industry who is interested in helping you succeed. Do you want to have 100% control over your business? Make all the decisions, make all the necessary investments, receive all the profits, and accept any losses? If so, you likely do not want a partner. If, on the other hand, you want to share in these or need someone that can complement your skill sets, a partner might be a good idea. If you have another owner, develop an agreement that explains who does what and how the partnership will be dissolved, including how the departing partner is compensated fairly without causing the business significant financial hardship. This is often called a buy-sell agreement. You can think of it as a business prenup that is done while everyone is on good terms, and who is staying and who is leaving is not yet known. The legal structure of your business, such as sole proprietor, partnership, LLC, etc., will depend partially on your decision to share ownership in the business and your willingness to be held liable for actions of the business. There are plenty of resources outlining the differences in these structures, or you can take our How to Start a Business workshop for more detail. Here are some of the things to consider when deciding if you want a home-based business or if you will need additional space. Pay close attention to any zoning restrictions. An oversimplification, but somewhat accurate way to think of it, is that if your neighbors can see it, hear it, or smell it, you have a potential zoning issue. During COVID-19, some zoning restrictions were, at least temporarily, relaxed. For example, someone could finally legally operate a home-based recording studio in Music City. But this and other zoning restrictions are forever subject to change. Obviously, if you can operate out of your home in a manner consistent with the expectations of your customers, you'll be able to invest more in other aspects of your business. The pandemic has proven that dedicated commercial real estate is not always a requirement. To summarize, here are just some of the key factors for success. Be properly motivated. Have a match between your value proposition and your customers' needs and wants. Have access to funding, including cash to make it beyond break even. Experience in the industry and/or education. A strong support system including advisors and family. Time to devote to your business and a strong work ethic, especially during startup. Ability to make decisions in absence of certainty. Thanks for watching. We hope you've learned something from this session and that we have provided some food for thought. If you're ready to proceed, we're ready to help. We'll leave this slide up for a bit so you can see your next steps.